How's it going, guys? So today I wanted to talk about the Orient Mako XL. And this watch has been out for a while, so you might be wondering, why am I waiting this long to review it? Well, because Orient, they did release the Ray 2 and Mako 2, and more recently they released what's been codenamed the Mako 3s, but they've recently updated their spec sheet, and now they're called the Kamasu and Kano version of the Orient divers. And because they have been released, prices have been steadily dropping on this guy, so you can find it all day for under $200. And I highly recommend you pick one up as a really great budget dive watch. Now, there are different colorways of this version of the Orient Mako XL. I got the cream dial, but the real reason is this dial is actually fully lumed, and they do a really great job with this. So later in the video, I'm going to show you a really nice lume shot and maybe a head-to-head comparison with some other popular divers out there. But that's the main reason I picked this guy up. Now let's talk about the dimensions. Unlike the more popular Ray or Mako 2s, which come in at 41 millimeters in case diameter, this guy comes in about 44.5 millimeters. Now if you flip it to the side, from tip to tip here, you're looking at about 51 millimeters. The overall case thickness is 13.5 millimeters. And then if you look at the lug gap here for your bracelet, you're looking at about 22 millimeters. So actually pretty good dimensions for a dive watch. And this is actually right on par with the specs you would find on, for example, like the Seiko Prospects line of divers. Now this is a fully stainless steel case. And again, 200-meter water-resistant watch with a screw-down crown. You have some really nice applied and faceted indices on the hour markings there. You can see there's a really nicely framed day and date complication over 3 o'clock. And then you do have that Orient applied logo at the 12 o'clock. And of course, near 6 o'clock, you get water resistant and 200 meters. Now, what you might note with the Mako XL line that's slightly different from the subsequent iterations of this watch is that there is a pusher here near like the 2 o'clock position. And this is actually your quick day set function. So you can see it currently says Saturday, but if I push this a few times, now I just flipped it right over to Sunday. And the reason this is implemented is because this houses one of their older Orient in-house movements, which is the caliber 46943. It's actually very similar to the original Seiko 7S movements that were used in some of their most popular lineups, like the Seiko SKX or the Seiko 5 series. So it's non-hacking and non-hand winding, but it's a very good workhorse movement with a 40-hour power reserve. You just kind of have to do this shake here to wind it up. And it has a very efficient bidirectional winding system that will keep it active as long as it's on your wrist. Now, one of the advantages I would say the Mako XL has over like the Mako 2 or Ray 2 is with the size, because some of my complaints about those watches were I found the crown was too small to operate efficiently, and with this crown it's really easy to unwind it and you get a very satisfying pop. And then again, if you wind it when it's in its first position, you're not actually manually winding the movement, but if you pull it all the way out, you can do your quick hour change here. And if you do have it in your first position, you can quickly set the day function, or sorry, the date. And the other advantage I would say is I had a hard time with my Ray 2 to grip and operate the bezel. And this guy, it's really easy. You can hear really satisfying positive clicks. It's a 120 click unidirectional bezel. Everything lines up really, really well. And again, you can see that cream dial, I really just enjoy the color of a dial, but it's also fully lumed. Now before I show you the lume shot, let's talk about the rest of the watch. You have your standard Orient bracelet, 22 millimeters, and I believe it does taper down a bit to about 20. And then you have a fold over clasp with dual trigger deployment, so you can unlock it flip it out. This part is stamped out, but it keeps it really thin. And then you do have some nice micro adjustments here as well. The individual links are just friction pins, which I prefer over like Seiko's pin and collar system because they're really easy to size that way. Kind of a negative here, and not surprising because it's done in the Mako and Ray 2s, is that the end links here are hollow, and they are kind of rattly. I don't know if you can hear it, but so you might want to swap this out for a strap, like a NATO strap or a rubber bracelet in the future. Now the case back here, it's fairly standard for Orient. It's just got your etched in Orient symbol. It indicates it's water resistant 200 meters, fully stainless steel. So flipping this back over now, I just want to show you guys a quick lume shot because again, this fully lume dial does not disappoint in any way. Alright, so I thought it'd be fun to do a three-way lume comparison against the Orient Mako XL, which is dead center there. And you can see it's the most prominent out of the three watches. Just to the left here is my Zello Swordfish, which is also a great watch, and it has a lumed bezel as well. And then to my right, I have the Seiko Turtle. And I mean, they're all great divers with respect to visibility and lume, but I definitely think that the full lume dial and the Orient Mako XL beats out these guys. Now aside from this really great lume on the Orient Mako XL, I think the finish work is actually done better on this watch than the Orient or Mako 2s that I've owned in the past. That's probably because you have a bigger case and more surface area to accent, but if you look on the sides, you get some really nice polishes along the shoulders of the case and on the pushers and crown. Then you have this really nice beveled edge that's fairly prominent and polished along the sides near the ends of the lugs there. And then you got some really good vertical brushing along the tops of the lugs. And I just think the bezel is also well finished. It's very legible. And you can see that the teeth on the bezel are more prominent. And you can see how the lugs too at the end, they do kind of just are truncated there at the end, but they have really nice finishes to it. So overall, I think the fit and finish of this watch is really good for the price. Let me just throw it on wrist so I can show you how it wears. And here's a wrist shot of the Mako XL on my wrist, which is just over 7¼ inches in circumference. And I like how the lugs turn down slightly. It just sits really well on my wrist. And again, I think the bracelet's really nice as well. I just wish that the end links on it weren't hollow. But that wraps it up for this video, guys. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, I'll catch you in the next video.